start off though.
So do you encourage social media?
I actually do. I'm a big fan of social media. So I encourage it as much as I can with both my own children, and I personally use social media quite a bit, and I do see that there is some educational purpose to it within parameters.
Do you think social media should spread more, or like the way it is okay right now for us to use?
I honestly think there is some power to the face-to-face traditional kind of interaction that we have, but I think that social media serves a pretty strong purpose in our society, and it definitely has helped to make the world feel a little bit more connected. So I can see where it definitely can grow and has some more potential, but I don't think we should ever dismiss the power of one-to-one.
Okay, guys, we should be getting.
Do you believe that being at the head of a technology center floor in our school has, changed your perspective on it a bit?
Well, I've always been a little bit of a techie nerd, so just being the leader and the principal of the assistant principal of the technology floor hasn't really played a huge impact on my opinion of social media. I always have been that person. So when I was in my teens, if there was something new techie out there, I was the first one standing in line wanting to buy it and trying to explore it. So as soon as anything new comes out, I'm usually the one trying to get in the beta testing, just so I can just say, oh, I've tried it, it's cool, whatever. And no, if anything, I think my position has actually slowed down my participation in social media just because of time restraints.
Oh, okay. What questions have been asked? Because I'm kind of lost right now.
So she asked me about did I agree with it and did I like it, right? And if I thought it should increase or if it should change any. And then he asked me if my position as an assistant principal had any impact on my use of it, right?
In your opinion.
In my opinion.
With social media, do you find it to be helpful with the communication throughout teachers and the students, or do you rather them use an email?
Actually, I find it really helpful. Okay, as a parent, my son's school has a Facebook page and a Twitter feed, and that's how I keep in touch with what's going on, because I absolutely cannot stand the automated telephone calls that come home. I mean, it drives me nuts, right? As a parent, and I'm always like, oh, it's another one. But I can log into the Facebook or go to my Twitter feed and look at what the principal's posting and what he's saying, and it keeps me up to date, and it's not as intrusive to me as my phone ringing and me having to stop and answer and listen to this recording. So I see as an educator that's really powerful also, because you can communicate with your parents. So.
Do you consider the use of social media and it not being filtered right now? Do you see that as a major distraction for students?
Okay, now you're asking me as an educator. So as an educator, I definitely understand the need to filter certain parts of the media, because it is a huge distraction for the students, and it does cause students and I have seen students who are so completely wired in that they aren't making any interaction at all with anything that's going around them besides what's happening in their little media world, right? And they're not being successful in school. So there has to be this balance of, okay, I'm using the social media and I'm participating in it, and it plays a part of who I am, but then I need to be successful in my academic world. So that balance is a hard one, and especially when we're dealing with young adults who are learning how to balance and control that impulse. Because even as adults, it's hard to not get on my phone and check my Facebook, right? But I don't. I've had to train myself as an adult that while I'm at work, I don't Facebook. It's just not something that's acceptable. I don't sit there and talk on the phones to my friends at work, so why would it be appropriate for me to be posting and talking to my friends on Facebook? But on the flip side, when I'm at home and it's my personal time, I'm on Facebook. I actually met and reconnected with my current husband that I'm married to on Facebook, so I see the power there. But at work, it's not the right place for it. So it's learning to balance that. So putting filters in place is not only about protecting the students, because there's also predators out there that utilize that type of resource to reach children and hurt them. Okay, so I understand the use of the filters for that reason. It's also about learning how to manage our time and know when is the appropriate place and when it's not the appropriate place to do that.
So, what's your opinion on students using social media as a resource, like during school?
As a resource during school. Actually, I like some of the options out there for teachers, and there are some specific sites that are geared towards teachers, and there's some protective measures that can be put in place so that the teacher can have it's not really a Facebook page, but it looks like a Facebook page, and so you can have discussions, and the discussions kind of lower some of the fear that can come with like shouting out answers in class, but you feel much more comfortable posting a comment, right? So I love seeing that. I love seeing that utilized. And I love the barriers that are there because I don't necessarily want some stranger, as a parent, I don't want some stranger dropping in to my daughter's class and getting to participate and see some of the things that are going on. But as an educator, I love the fact that y'all are able to respond and contribute in a way that y'all are really comfortable and can relate to.
Come on, Joanne.
You have been exceptionally quiet.
It's not like you all.
I'm trying to think. So our school board president came, on Tuesday, and he disagrees with social media completely. Like, he doesn't want social media. He doesn't have a social media account. And would you think that would inspire his decision on social media, because he's not wanting it, but he doesn't understand how far it can lead us and help us out? Do you think that it kind of holds him back from knowing how it could be helpful, but then also see the aspect to where it can't be helpful?
Well, I think that Dr. Jones definitely has his opinions, and he has of course, the rights to do that. And he always has been very clear that his objective is to make sure that the students receive the best education they can. And if he has that opinion that it's going to, have an influence in a negative way on y'all's education, then that's how he feels about it. And I, as a parent, know that, like I said, it has to be moderated and it has to be done at the appropriate time. And it can be a distraction for the students. So y'all have to learn, and you have to be taught how to balance that. So I understand why he's saying that. I understand how he feels about that. And as a parent, I'm very appreciative of his desire to take care of the Irving's children. But as someone who has seen the social media work in good ways within the classroom, I would hate for us to completely eliminate it. And as long as it's monitored and used appropriately, which means that the teachers have to be watching what's going on and the students have to be taught how to use it correctly and when.
Do you feel that having filters on some aspects of websites or social media, just filters on the internet in general, do you think that could hurt the children in the long run by not preparing them for jobs in the future or the workforce where they're not going to have that kind of those filters to protect them from what's out there and they could possibly get in trouble?
Realistically, how many of y'all don't get around the filters? So I need y'all to credit my intelligence a little bit more and understand that we are very aware of the fact that you guys get around the filters, right? Is that okay? No, it's not okay. But the filters are our attempt to train y'all about when is the appropriate time and when is not the appropriate time to be using that. And it's our attempt to protect you. And I would hope that discussions go on in class between teachers and MPAs about when and when is not the appropriate time. Why you would do this. I am always shocked as an educator at how you guys just accept friends from anywhere. I'll ask somebody, is this your friend? And they'll be like, oh, I don't know, it's just somebody who has to be my friend. You don't even know who that person is. I know they say they're this person, but do you really know who that person is? So I'm always a little shocked at how eagerly you guys accept people to let them follow you or be your friend, and that shocks me all the time because I can't even imagine. But I think that as long as we as educators are doing our part to have conversations with you about making the best choices, then we're doing the best we can to prepare you. And as a parent, I will tell you that there are rules when it comes to social media in my house. And as parents, we have to play a part in educating you on making those choices. Just like when y'all were little and we talked to you about, what you needed to do at friends' houses or how you were supposed to act at friends' houses, the same needs to apply as parents, that we say, when you're doing this online, these are my expectations for your behavior. And my children have very strict rules as to how they are to behave on the internet or in any kind of social media setting.
Do you feel that, you say that the filters are the way to teach us the responsibility, do you feel that's right or wrong?
I think they are a deterrent. I don't think that they're the only way to teach you. I think they're a tool that could be used, but I don't think they're much of a deterrent. I think that we, as your teachers and as your administration, have to work with y'all and talk to you and be understanding, but express to us and very clearly our expectations and make sure that we're reinforcing it when we're in the classrooms.
Dr. Jones says that the school board doesn't use social media. Do you administrators use it? Because he said for them that it's illegal. Do you guys use it to set up events and all that stuff or not?
I personally do not use social media for my floor in the sense that you're talking about. Now, I will tell you that my son does not attend Irving ISD, and his school district does, and I absolutely love it as a parent. Love being able to see that, like I talked about, being able to go in there, grab what information I need and walk away. But I do not use it on my floor. And professionally, as an administrator, I am not friends with students, and I am not friends with other teachers, teachers on the floor and things like that, because that is my personal life. That is not my professional life. So I have had to draw a very distinct line, as you should, in recognizing that this is my personal life and this is what goes on here, and then this is my professional life, and there's a distinct line.
In our previous interview with the school board president, he said that he doesn't feel that social media can engage or make a collaborative effort in learning at all. He doesn't feel that it poses any kind of help in teaching. How do you feel about that? Can it be collaborative? Can it be communicative or engaging?
Yes, I do think that the social media offers an opportunity for y'all to collaborate in a way that you, as digital natives, are very used to collaborating. And y'all, let's face it, y'all probably text more than you talk on the phone. Okay? You probably talk on the phone to your parents, right? The rest of the time, what do? Right? That's how you communicate. So that's how y'all are used to thinking and contributing to. So again, I'm going to go back to, I don't think it should be the only way that you're contributing, because there's something very valuable about sitting down at a table and carrying on a conversation with your peers face to face. But at the same time, I do know that that is a area that y'all have been connected to since birth, right? That's been around since the beginning. My daughters were 2 and knew how to do things on the computer that I didn't even know how to do yet, right? So y'all were born into this world doing that. So I do think it can be a very engaging piece for y'all. And I do think that if it's managed correctly and done correctly, it could be utilized as an amazing piece. Let's talk about how awesome it would be I'll use Skype. I know there's other forms, right? But for example, I couldn't go to a meeting the other day, right? I had to be in 5 places, and at some point, Miss B does not split into 5 different pieces, right? So I had to kind of finagle and move some things around. And one of the pieces is that tomorrow morning I'm Skyping with the person who was going to come out of town and meet with me. And so instead of her flying in, we're just going to Skype and be able to hold a meeting. So how cool is it that you could possibly Skype someone from across the world into your class and ask them questions and interview them? So that's a piece that could be very engaging and very cool and has a lot of educational value. In my time, I guess it would have been like video conferencing, right? Same concept.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.